enjoy cooking. I love cooking at the end of the day. But let's see. What's this Monster Hunter thing that Dark has sent us? What is this?
A brand new open world Monster Hunter game has just been revealed, and that is Monster Hunter Outlanders. Now unfortunately I have to tell you that this is a mobile game, but it actually looks very promising, so in today's video I want to go through some of the key features that we're going to be able to see in the game.
You can make a house in this game? Interesting. Hey AJ.
How big is this open world going to be? What kind of weapons, progression, and monsters are we going to be able to see? Some important details that have been revealed in a few Japanese and Chinese interviews. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, how is monetization going to work for Monster Hunter Outlanders?
I think from what we know specifically about the monetization is we pull on helpers, like hunter helpers or something like that, you know?
With that being said, hello everyone, my name is Dark
That's basically
Hero,
how
and
it
let's
is.
get started. Now we actually already knew that the Teamy Studio Group was going to be working with Monster Hunter to create a brand new game, as it was revealed back in 2022 and I even made a video addressing this, though we had no idea at the time what kind of game it was going to be. And what an ambitious project this is, tackling the Monster Hunter franchise with an open world focus. And as you can see from the footage for Monster Hunter, the game is still in development, so they are likely going to be polishing this a bit, and a lot of the things that we see in this trailer are very exciting, with you now having the possibility to catapult your hunter and just glide across this giant open world. And of course, given the popularity of Monster Hunter World,
you can build a crib in mobile and not in the main game. Next main Monster Hunter game needs that. I need to build a clan house for the homies. I would assume it's like a gacha system, and the types of hunters will be on specific banners. It will probably be like that. Apparently, you're supposed to pull like on helpers or so, hunter helpers or something like that. That's what I heard.
Developers have added a lot of returning monsters that we can see in the trailer, such as Anjanath, Great Jagras, and Toikadachi. And perhaps one of the most exciting things about Monster Hunter Outlanders is the way in which we're going to be able to traverse the map, because as we see in the gameplay, you now even get a glider to traverse the map. There's also this brand new monkey companion, which may potentially be replacing our Palico, though there is some gameplay of the Palico, although it is very brief, so I'm not 100% sure, though.
I think you can be able to control the Palico. I think that's what I've heard. On top of that, for another rumor that apparently like you can play as the Palico, you know.
At the same time, maybe the Palico is us getting the Prowler mode back into Monster Hunter Outlanders, so we would be able to play as a Palico and we would still have this monkey as a companion. Speaking of which, it's important to talk about weapon selection, because with games like Monster Hunter Now or Stories for example, where not every weapon is present in those games, it might just happen that Outlanders is launched without all 14 weapons. So far, the only weapons that have been confirmed for Outlanders are the longsword, which we see the hunter wearing the Rathlow's armor set wielding throughout most of the trailer. We also see a female hunter wielding the dual blades, and she's wearing an armor set that is very similar to that of Kulyaku, and even the dual blades themselves are very similar, so that may be hinting at Kulyaku making a return in Outlanders.
Okay.
With 3 other weapons having been confirmed through screenshots, and those are the light bowgun, the bow, and the final one, I'm not quite sure if it's the lance or the gun lance. The open world itself.
Where the fuck is the heavy bow gun? Come on, man. I don't want to play no fucking light bow gun. I want to play the heavy bow gun. This is bullshit, man. This is bullshit, man.
Itself looks pretty cool.
Hashtag make heavy bow guns great again.
We see various different landscapes, with even a very brief segment where the hunter goes underwater, though I am not expecting the game to have underwater combat by any means. I think it's just one of those very small stretches of exploration, kind of like you had in
they gotta
Vods
bring in all the
or
weapons
even
in the
World,
game.
for example,
They
where you
have
go underwater
to.
for a couple of
They have
seconds, you
to.
can't really move from side to side or even try to dive deep underwater.
They gotta bring in
so I
all the
wouldn't read
weapons.
too
You
much
can't just
into
have
that.
some of
Now,
them.
the
You gotta bring
different
them all in
biomes
there.
that we saw in the trailer looked very promising.
Heavy
We saw
bow gun
some big
cut. Shut your
wastelands
bitch
as well
ass
as
up.
a lush forest, and specifically in the part where the Rathalos hunter with the longsword on the back is catapulted and uses the glider, you even get to see a destroyed airship and some wreckage, so there might be some interesting implications and some lore aspects right here. Not to mention the area with all of those orange crystals, along with the Rathian that seems to be infused with them to become more powerful. This is likely going to play out as
You
a similar
motherfuckers.
mechanic to what we had in 4 Ultimate, or even the Curio in Sunbreak, where certain monsters will become empowered with these crystals, and I would imagine that the game's story would focus on that. Though this being a mobile title that is likely going to play out as a live service game, getting constant updates, expanding upon the open...
This better have a PC launcher too as well, you know? This better have a PC launcher.
world and such, and if we don't get all 14 weapons from the start, getting a few additions here and there, I wouldn't expect much from the story of Outlanders, though it has never really been the focus of the Monster Hunter series. And towards the end of the trailer you even get to see a map of the entire open world, which again I do believe will be eventually expanded upon with different updates, assuming that the game would have success and would last for many years. It should be noted that
in
open
mobile?
world
Oh
games,
man, I wish you luck
especially
on
gacha
that.
games, have really blown up.
I
with
wish you
Genshin
luck on
Impact.
that.
It is by far one of the most successful gacha games ever released,
It
and
is.
is likely the reason why
is.
Tencent chose to partner up with Capcom to release this title. So I do believe that we're going to be seeing a lot of similar mechanics that you see in gacha games like Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves and other open world games, also make its way to Monster Hunter Outlanders.
They
Now,
have
there
to have
is
a
an
PC port for
unconfirmed
this.
source that has
They
been
have
spread
to.
around the community
At
that
least
I
a
believe
launcher,
does
because every
have some
other,
merit
because
to it.
all of the other gacha games have, like, at least for the most popular ones, have a PC port for them. So they have to do it, or else they're missing a huge chunk of the market.
That states that we'll be able to essentially recruit characters and play as said characters, which you will come across as you play through the game's story, do different events, that sort of stuff. This may potentially be a gacha system, and that is how you would be progressing and how the game would be monetized, but aside from that, now it is important to mention that Monster Hunter Outlanders is being published by Tencent, which was actually heavily involved in Monster Hunter Online, the Chinese Monster Hunter MMO that was never available in the West.
that one.
It was published by Tencent and developed by Tencent Games with Capcom's backing. Monster Hunter Online launched back in 2016, but it was shut down on December 31st of 2019 and featured very flashy combat and lots of new monsters that were never seen again in the series. And I've been told that this is because the rights to those monsters belong to Tencent and not Capcom, so we could potentially see them being reintroduced into Monster Hunter Outlanders. The game also had a
That would be
big
pretty
focus
cool.
on weapon and armor cosmetics, employing
Damn, some of those armors look pretty nice, actually.
a layered or transmog system, which I think is likely we're going to also see in
Oh, that's pretty cool. What was that? Switch axe or so?
Monster Hunter Outlanders. Another important note to add is that
It was actually good. The Monster Hunter Online one. It was actually pretty good though.
Genki Tsunano, the former producer of Monster Hunter Frontier who also worked on Rise, Sunbreak and Monster Hunter Now, is confirmed to be working with the Teamy Group and Tencent on Monster Hunter Outlanders. So given the producer's track record, I do believe that we are in
Damn.
good hands and can
I'm surprised they brought the fucking Frontier developers on this, actually.
expect to see some exciting things for Outlanders.
I heard it was pretty good. I heard it was pretty good for the Monster Hunter Online thing.
Especially as far as combat is concerned, because when we take a look at the combat in Monster Hunter Outlanders in this short gameplay trailer, it actually does look very promising, especially when compared to Monster Hunter Now. There is a huge leap in gameplay and it feels much closer to what we already have in the more recent Monster Hunter titles. It should also be noted that the game's developer, the Teamy Group Studio, is the studio behind a handful of very successful MOBAs such as Pokemon Unite, Arena of Valor, Honor of Kings, and Call of Duty Mobile, which, you know, that last one isn't really a MOBA. All this to say that both Tencent and the Teamy Studio Group have a lot of experience with mobile titles.
Interesting.
Now me personally, I don't typically play games on my mobile, with the only exception being Pokemon TCG Live, although I do play gacha games and even make videos on my other channel for Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone.
Dark Hero Gacha. Interesting. I did not know he made a gacha channel for gacha games. That's interesting. I did not know that. Did not know that at all.
Zero, but I play those exclusively on PC. That being
Yeah.
said, we're likely going to be able to use an app like BlueStacks, for example, to emulate and play Monster Hunter Outlanders on PC. So if you're someone like myself that prefers to play games on desktop instead of the mobile, you're always going to have that option, although I do believe that there is a big chance that Tencent might decide to put Monster Hunter Online available for PC eventually, given the big focus that Capcom
They
has
should put this. They should have a PC launcher for this.
been giving to the PC platform, and the fact that it would expose the game to a bigger audience. And so a couple of big questions are, how are the game's monetization and progression systems going to work? The TV Studio Group producer Don Huang has stated in an IGN interview that Monster Hunter Outlanders not only offers players an authentic hunting experience, but it does so in a massive open world featuring the community and social systems that players are looking for today. Now that by itself doesn't tell us much, but given what we saw in the trailer along with the types of games that are developed by Teamy, there are a few things that we can infer from this. For example, while we're going to have this massive open world that we're going to be able to explore, and while we're not going to have a time limit to explore it, there's likely going to be these limiting features like stamina that you'll consume as you perform different activities, and that is what would allow you to collect materials and possibly even rewards, something akin to Genshin Impact and the way that you collect resources in that game. There's also been rumors that there's going to be a gacha system associated with Monster Hunter Outlanders as well, as one key feature that the game is going to have is the aforementioned switchable characters, that again you're going to be able to encounter as you play through the story, but I imagine that this is where monetization is going to play a big role. And you might think that this is weird having a gacha system and implementing it into a loot progression game like Monster Hunter, but a perfect example of this would actually be Destiny Rising, the Destiny mobile game which has just launched into closed alpha, and
Destiny made a fucking mobile game? Since when? Since when was this a thing? What the fuck?
The way that it works is that it is pretty much just a mobile lightweight version of Destiny with a few different systems, but instead of you creating your own character, you actually have your own starter character and then you unlock different characters through a gacha system. That is to say that you get a special currency that you need to accumulate to then summon.
What? Damn, dude, that's crazy. I didn't even know about that.
For a character that has a very low % chance of showing up.
That's crazy. I didn't even know about that.
You can obtain that character after a ton of pulls. And this is of course a big monetization system, because if you want to obtain all of the characters, you're not going to have enough resources, so you're going to need to spend money. And Monster Hunter has actually dabbled.
It's a lot better than Destiny 2. Oof. 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 When a mobile game does it better than the actual main title game. That's pretty sad in my personal opinion.
Into gacha in the past, with some games like Monster Hunter Riders for example being straight up gacha games, so this is definitely something that I can see happening with Monster Hunter Outlanders. Ultimately, despite being a mobile title, I am excited about Monster Hunter Outlanders. My number one concern is the monetization, and given how important the progression is to Monster Hunter, I really hope that they don't screw this up. And if they ultimately go the gacha game route, I hope that they don't have a lot of predatory mechanics and just let free-to-play players still have a fun time with the game. Let me know if you guys were expecting any of this, and if you are looking forward to Monster Hunter Outlanders. I'm also hoping for a PC port, but I wouldn't really count on it, and we're likely going to be hearing more about this game after Vods releases, so if you want to stay up to date on all the news, please subscribe to the channel. With that being said, my name is Dark Hero, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, happy hunting!
Not bad, that's interesting actually. Interesting, yeah, because if I remember correctly, I heard that they're gonna do like a kind of like a dungeon arena kind of type of thing for some of the monsters or something like that. Rating on Destiny Mobile will reach new heights of toxic. yeah, I could definitely see that. That's so weird. Fucking Destiny on the fucking mobile phone. I never thought to see the day and age or so to see Destiny on the mobile phone. Yeah, it could be. I'm really hoping that Monster Hunter Outlanders has a PC port on day one. It should have it. It should have it, in my personal opinion. It should have a PC port, at least. If not, that's fine. I'll play it on my emulator, but I don't think I would play this on my phone, personally. I feel like those updates are gonna kill my fucking phone, especially on storage. So, yeah. I'll definitely check it out when it comes out, you know, if I manage to get into a beta access of it, if I even can. So we'll see how it is. But yeah, that was actually pretty cool. That was actually very interesting. Like, I know some of the stuff that I've heard about for Monster Hunter Outlanders, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But I'll keep tabs on this update for specifically on this game. There's another gacha style Destiny game in the works where it would be third person and the banner would be for Zavala, Ikora, Shax, etc. But it got canceled and now we have this. Yeah, they won't. They won't have a heavy bow gun. Shut your bitch ass up. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and yeah, fucking Monster Hunter Outlanders. I'll keep an eye out on this one. I'll definitely keep an eye out on this.